Archangel Michael has never wept over you before, but tonight he is. This is your final window to stop what's coming. Open now. Tonight is circled in heaven's calendar. A line is drawn not with ink, but with fire. This is not just another evening drifting into tomorrow. This night was marked long before you were born, etched into divine record with urgency and clarity. It was reserved for a turning point, a divine interruption, a holy confrontation between what has been and what must now be. The hour feels heavy because heaven is near. The air presses in because eternity is leaning over the edge, peering into your life with holy intensity. Archangel Michael, commander of heaven's armies, the mighty protector, has stood over your timeline with silence and vigilance for years. He has watched battles rage around you, defended you without fanfare, stood between you and destruction, and he has done so without shedding a single tear. But tonight he weeps. Not in sorrow for you, but in sorrow for what is coming if this moment is ignored. His tears are not signs of weakness. They are signals, liquid alarms pouring from a dimension where time, truth, and justice collide. This moment is not for the crowd. This message does not apply broadly. It is surgically selective. It locates the one who hath been sensing the hush in the atmosphere, the quiet prelude to a thunderous divine pivot. You've been wondering why everything suddenly feels still, why conversations feel muted, why your spirit has grown more alert but less talkative. You've asked for a sign. You whispered into the dark, God, if you're trying to tell me something, make it unmistakable. Heaven has heard, and the answer comes cloaked in trembling urgency. This is your final window, a narrow passage of time through which your obedience, your stillness, and your listening will determine outcomes that cannot be reversed easily. If ignored, doors will close that prayer cannot quickly reopen. This is a season of sifting, not punishment. The tests are simple but sacred: silence, stillness, and immediate obedience. You don't need more information. You need precise alignment. Heaven is watching. The Spirit is speaking. Michael is present. Enter softly into this moment. Breathe slower. Say less. Notice more. Obey immediately. Because what's coming cannot be postponed again, and what is waiting must be met in divine formation. Type I am yielded in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 777 is now surrounding you. In the realm of heaven, there are hours that do not repeat. This is one of them. Within the next 2 hours, you will either align with your divine assignment or drift into a delay that may not be recovered quickly. These are not idle warnings. By sunrise, the trajectory of your path will either lock into covenantal alignment or begin to spiral quietly toward avoidable entanglement. Grace will still be available, but certain opportunities will relocate. Certain doors will no longer swing open with ease, and the divine timing you've been waiting on will wait no longer. This is a holy hour, not because you are watching or listening, but because heaven is watching you. Archangel Michael stands at your threshold. He is not just hovering, he is guarding, not just protecting, he is interceding. The great defender of heaven, the warring prince, has come not only to fight but to deliver a message that must pierce the fog around your decisions. This space you're in right now, it is not just your room, your car, or your quiet corner. It has become a war room, a prayer chamber. Heaven has turned its ear toward your heart, and the Spirit is hovering between your words, listening to the cry behind your silence. God Most High is present. His presence is not loud, it is weighty. Power does not shout, it settles. And tonight, it has settled here. Not everyone can hear this frequency. His dispatch is selective. Only those marked with divine assignment, those who have felt the shift in the spirit realm, will receive this word in its fullness. This is not for the distracted or the dismissive. It is for the yielded ones. The ones who know something invisible has shifted. The ones who keep waking up at unusual hours. The ones who feel a pressure in their chest that can't be named. The ones who have heard their name called in dreams and remembered fragments of instruction. You have not imagined it. You are being summoned. Expect interruption. Not chaos, confirmation. You may feel a sudden chill, a memory return, a name surface. These are not accidents. These are alarms in the spirit. Do not ignore the shiver down your spine. Do not disregard the pause that arrests your steps. Do not argue with the nudge. Do not explain away what you discern. Treat every divine interruption like a fire alarm. Respond swiftly. Delay is disobedience in this hour. Michael's tears mean the line has been crossed. Not just in your life, but in the atmosphere surrounding you. The enemy hath been permitted to observe, to test, to tempt, and now heaven demands your response. You were shielded for a time, but now formation is required. You must step into your role, take your position, and let heaven calibrate your steps. So begin now, not with anxiety, but with surrender. Repeat it softly with your spirit fully awake. I am listening. I am yielded. Speak, Lord. Do not wait for perfection. Heaven is not looking for flawless performance. It is seeking full obedience. Prepare for your plans to shift. Conversations may be canceled. Invitations may be withdrawn. Meetings may reschedule themselves. Flights may be delayed. Connections may fall silent. Don't panic. Don't chase after it. Don't fight to hold together what God is gently removing. He is routing you. Michael's presence marks a redirection. When he appears, it is to escort you through guarded transitions. If you resist the realignment, you'll be left with scenery that looks familiar but timelines that no longer fit. Heaven speaks in patterns. This hour is not about speed. It is about sacred synchronization. Let God walk you into the rooms He has prepared. Let the Spirit whisper what your flesh wants to shout. Let Michael stand where your fear used to. Heaven's rhythm is not rushed, but it is precise. Do not lag behind. Do not rush ahead. Walk in cadence. You are not late. You are being recalibrated. This moment was always on the calendar, and heaven never misses its own appointments. Type I am listening in the comments if you receive this message. Lesson code 444 is now activated. Someone is watching your life through a veil of half-truths and fragile assumptions, like looking through a fogged window, pressing their face against the glass of your destiny, trying to decipher what God has deliberately hidden. They guess. They whisper. They speculate. But they do not know. And lately, you've felt it, haven't you? The weight of unspoken things, the discomfort in unsafe spaces, the strange energy in conversations where the words are light but the atmosphere is heavy. You noticed it when the laughter stopped reaching their eyes. You sensed it when a familiar voice didn't sound so warm. You tried to dismiss it, but your spirit caught something your ears couldn't translate. The room changed. A phone call went unusually silent. A response was too delayed. You asked, "Is it just me?" But the answer echoed back in your soul, "No. It's not just you. Heaven is exposing the fracture. This is not paranoia. It is perception. This is not suspicion. It is discernment. And when Archangel Michael weeps, it is because the interference has reached a critical threshold. His tears are not for your enemies. They are shed over the disturbance that seeks to erode your peace, confuse your path, and dismantle your confidence with subtle sabotage. These aren't battles with swords. They are battles with silence, with smiles that lie, with questions wrapped in false concern. This is spiritual espionage. The fog of gossip has been moving, quietly, maliciously. It doesn't strike all at once. It seeps in like a slow poison. It blurs the lines of trust. It breeds restlessness. And lately, your sleep hath been shallower. Your dreams have become cryptic. You've awakened with phrases in your mouth and fragments of feelings you can't explain. That's not imagination. It's revelation. Heaven has been speaking in code because your spirit needs protection from what your flesh might prematurely confront. You've questioned yourself. Then you questioned why you're even questioning yourself. That is the sign of spiritual interference. Heaven is trying to anchor you while unseen hands attempt to untie your clarity. But you must understand this. Not everyone who is smiling at you is standing with you. And not everyone who is distant is against you. Stop demanding clarity from people who heaven is deliberately veiling. God is not trying to punish you. He's protecting you from premature exposure. Let the questions breathe. Let the silence settle. Your answers are not being withheld. They are being built upstream. The truth is under construction in the spirit, and when it arrives, it will not need your defense. It will come with God's evidence. So do not sprint through the fog. Slow down. Confusion is not your enemy. It is a signpost. It tells you that something unclean is trying to enter a place where God is birthing something holy. Michael's tears have soaked the threshold because what stands between you and the next door is not a devil with horns, but a disguised disruption, people, patterns, and personalities sent to fracture your focus. You must guard your atmosphere. Protect your peace like it's prophecy, because it is. God speaks clearest in stillness, and disruption, when not discerned, can silence destiny. To pause. Let go of needing to understand every nuance right now. Instead, pray, "Lord, teach me to be okay with not knowing while you're still working." That prayer alone will unlock peace. Heaven's plan does not require your full comprehension, just your full surrender. Let the wind of the Spirit blow the fog away in due time. And until it does, stay low, stay quiet, stay submitted. Every misread, every strange silence, every awkward tension, it's being documented in heaven's courtroom. You do not have to retaliate. You do not have to explain. You do not have to fix atmospheres God is deliberately deconstructing. Stand still. Watch God narrate your story better than your voice ever could. Type "I am covered" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 911 is surrounding you now. Beloved, if this word has stirred your spirit, you are not just hearing. It means you are being called deeper. Every time you sow into this mission, you are helping us bring heaven's urgency to those on the brink of their turning point. This isn't charity, it's warfare. Your support makes it possible for this word to reach the weary, the confused, the called. When you give, through a super thanks, YouTube membership, or a PayPal gift link in the description, you are sowing into fertile, prophetic ground. You are part of lighting torches in the darkness, oiling the lamps of those who feel forgotten. God said in Isaiah 58:10, "If you pour yourself out for the hungry, your light will rise in the darkness." That's not just a verse, it's an invitation. I feel it even now. Some of you are stirred to give as a prophetic act. That's not your emotion, it's your assignment. Obey the unction. I speak blessing over every giver. May your seed return as clarity, protection, and divine reversal. Don't just watch, become part of what God is doing. Give now. The heavens are open. Obey quickly. This is not random drama. This is not coincidence. This is not just life happening. What you're facing is a spiritually orchestrated pressure, and it has a purpose. You are carrying something that hell has identified. You are hosting an anointing that cannot remain anonymous. And when heaven begins to elevate you in silence, hell begins to agitate you in surround sound. This pressure has a design. It is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to test alignment, expose unauthorized attachments, and force you into divine precision. It's not a punishment. It's a proving. The shaking you're experiencing isn't random. It's a reveal. Every delayed message, every passive-aggressive silence, every spiritual fog you felt lately, it is part of the clash between the realm you're ascending to and the residue trying to remain. Archangel Michael has stood back not because he has abandoned you, but because he has been commanded to watch how you respond. When Michael weeps, it's because divine silence has been authorized to observe your decisions. The test is no longer about what happens to you. It's about how you handle it. Your restraint right now is more powerful than your rebuttal. Your silence carries more force in the spirit than your response ever could in the flesh. Heaven is watching, and not just with love, but with measurement. The shaking is not just conflict. It is a mantled test. You are being sized in the spirit. Every reaction reveals your rank. Every pause proves your posture. You are being watched not for your perfection but for your readiness. Are you able to hold power and remain unprovoked? Can you be misunderstood and remain still? Can you feel the weight of injustice without speaking prematurely? These are not suggestions. These are prerequisites. You are chosen, not chased. You are anointed, not auditioning. And the opposition is the loud confirmation. The more targeted the resistance, the more tailored your assignment. Do not misread the warfare. It is not meant to discredit you. It is meant to draw out the disciplined one inside you. The real you. The you that doesn't clap back. The you that lets silence speak. The you that recognizes when a battle is beneath your prophecy. Michael is not fighting this one for you. Not yet. This time, he stands to watch if you've learned the language of authority. Silence under slander, stillness under scrutiny, and obedience under opposition. He is weighing your reflexes, because your next assignment cannot be contaminated by old habits, especially the habit of reacting. Every time you choose not to respond in emotion, a wall is built around your calling. Every time you hold your tongue, Michael sharpens his sword on your behalf. Every moment you let God narrate the story instead of hijacking it in panic, you increase your territory in the spirit realm. Let this storm train you. Let this misreading fortify you. Let this silence teach you. You are not fragile, You are focused, and your reactions are the proof of your maturity. The restraint you show in this season is not weakness. It is weaponry. It is what moves angels. It is what provokes the justice of God. Heaven is watching to see if you will defend your name or let God defend your destiny. Choose wisely. Every word you release is either building a fortress or tearing down a bridge. Every action is either delaying or unlocking divine access. Michael stands beside you, measuring. And the spirit within you is whispering, "Let me fight this one. Let me speak on your behalf. Let me orchestrate the reversal." A temptation to fight back is strong, but the reward for silence is stronger. When you allow God to handle your vindication, He not only restores what was stolen, He elevates you publicly in places they never thought you'd enter. You are being fitted for something sacred. You are being prepared for a mantle that cannot sit on noisy shoulders. So breathe. Agree with heaven. Stop rehearsing the pain. Start rehearsing the promise. Let the warfare shape you, not shake you. Let it mature you, not mute you. You were never meant to fight like the world. You are royal. You are holy. You are covered. Type "I choose silence" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 1313 is now activated around your household. Someone is already crafting a message. Not a casual message. A strategic one. It is being rehearsed behind closed doors, drafted with intentional pauses and subtle tones. Somewhere, beyond your sight, a careful conversation is forming, and you are its unknowing subject. This is not paranoia. This is prophecy. This is not a what if. This is a heaven-issued warning wrapped in mercy and urgency. A meeting is being formed. Perhaps informal, masked as harmless. Perhaps digital, hidden in private group threads. But make no mistake, their aim is precision. They are preparing a shift in alliances. They are not just whispering opinions. They are constructing alternatives. But what they do not see is that while they are organizing in secret, Archangel Michael is already standing in the room. While they plot, heaven records. And while they plan their timing, divine interference has already gone ahead of you. Within 72 hours, pressure will either escalate or dissolve, and that outcome will be determined by your posture. That is not an exaggeration. The spiritual realm has already begun adjusting atmospheric conditions based on your obedience. If you heed the instruction, what was designed to trap you will collapse under the weight of its own manipulation. But if you react in haste, if you lean into panic or attempt to defend yourself prematurely, you will give the enemy the storyline he needs to delay your next door. Watch for it. It will come as bait. Invitations dressed in urgency. Conversations disguised as concern. Suggestions laced with seemingly innocent curiosity. They will reach out to check on you, but their real motive will be to extract information. They will mention something just vague enough to stir your flesh into wanting to explain yourself. Don't. You do not owe them clarity in a season where heaven is purposely cloaking you in divine fog for your protection. What looks like a simple decision may actually be a spiritual doorway. What seems like an innocent phone call may carry atmospheric consequences. You must discern the moment. Michael is withholding certain pieces of the full picture not because you're being punished, but because you are being protected. You are too close to divine exposure for the enemy to gain access through your mouth. Heaven cannot afford for you to open what God is trying to seal until the appointed hour. So refuse the staged stage. Decline the performance they are subtly inviting you into. Refuse to respond to urgency that heaven has not sanctioned. Time-sensitive doesn't always mean gourdaying. Some situations are pressing only because they are designed to pressure you out of position. Do not mistake movement for momentum. Be wary of the sudden shifts. Watch for the patterns in the natural. They mirror movements in the spirit. If you notice repeating numbers, unexpected delays, canceled meetings, or sudden reschedulings, don't complain. It's heaven rerouting you. That's divine interference keeping you from walking into a trap that was meant to look like an opportunity. If you stay still, the trap will spring without catching you. The net will fall, but you will not be in its path. A bait will rot on the hook untouched. But if you move too fast, if you chase the noise, then you may step into a narrative that was not written by God's pen but by your enemy's plan. There's a reason your name is being whispered. There's a reason your face comes up in rooms without your invitation. But the enemy's information is incomplete. They know parts. They see fragments. But God has hidden the blueprint, the oil, the true treasure of your calling deep within your obedience. Their curiosity is not harmless, it is strategic. But your stillness will be your safety. Michael is positioned, sword drawn, not to fight wildly but to defend silently. He does not strike unless commanded, and that command is released through your posture. When you rest, he warfares. When you obey, he defends. When you remain silent, he speaks in heaven's courtroom. So choose wisely. Choose the yoke that is light. Refuse the invitation to panic. Decline the platform that demands performance. Let heaven remain the only audience for your next decision. Because what you decide now sets a 72-hour sequence in motion. Type "I will not take the bait" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 2277 now hovers over your decisions. Be still now. The kind of stillness that doesn't simply mean physical quiet, but spiritual positioning. Be still in thought. Be still in motive. Be still in explanation. Because heaven does its most decisive work in your silence. Archangel Michael is not pacing, he is posted. And that posture of divine stillness is the model you are now commanded to mirror. You are not in a season of performance. You are not in a season of proving. You are in a season of prophetic stillness where your restraint becomes your protection and your silence becomes your sword. There are conversations heaven no longer requires you to participate in. For the next 3 days, withdraw from the need to be understood. That desire has been your open gate. The need to be validated, to be heard, to clarify what was misrepresented. It has worn your spirit down and weakened your discernment. But no more. The Spirit of God is calling you into sacred quiet, into strategic isolation, not to punish you, but to hide you. What feels like rejection is redirection. What seems like loneliness is actually divine seclusion for preservation. Fast not just from food, but from explanation. Let your silence become heavy. Let it speak with authority. Let the weight of your quiet cause confusion in the camp of your enemies. Let your refusal to engage be interpreted as obedience to heaven, not weakness in the earth. Every word you hold back in this season becomes a shield in the realm of the Spirit. Every explanation you withhold becomes a barricade heaven builds to secure your next steps. Your prayers do not need to be long. They need to be frequent. Not loud, strategic. Whispered prayers. Dagger prayers. Spirit-led interruptions of thought. Simple, surrendered confessions like, order my steps, guard my gates, restrain my reactions, cancel my impulse. These are not just poetic, these are passwords. And heaven is listening for those who still trust the whisper more than the war cry. Your journal will be your altar for the next dust cycle. Before you respond, before you post, before you reply, write. Record. Delay. Document the impulse, but do not act on it until one sunset passes. Your obedience in that rhythm will mark you for divine clarity. This is not self-discipline. This is spirit discipline. And those who master it are those Michael defends most fiercely. Rise early. Before the notifications. Before the world can shape your mood. Walks of the inner morning. Read the word aloud into the air. Let your atmosphere be washed in the sound of Scripture. Let the word become your insulation, your recalibration. Heaven is not looking for loud believers. Heaven is seeking those who carry the authority of the still. Do not touch what the Spirit restricts. Don't scroll through what He tells you to skip. Don't reply to what He says to archive. Don't debate what He says to delete. You are now in a digital fast of discretion. Your inbox is a gate. Your screen is a portal. Your feed is a battlefield. Guard them. Mute threads that stir confusion. Disable previews. Archive anything that gives your emotions a voice heaven isn't endorsing. Even what seems harmless in the natural may be highly toxic in the spirit. Your assignment now is to observe, not absorb. Sit in spiritual watchfulness. Let patterns speak louder than personalities. Let actions reveal allegiance. Heaven is not asking you to judge, just to discern. And then, to obey. You are not paranoid. You are being preserved. You are not being ignored. You are being insulated. Speak these affirmations under your breath and let them soak into your soul. I am hedged. I am held. I am hidden. I am helped. Again, declare it without rushing. My name is known in heaven. My record is clean before God. No trap prospers. No tongue pilots my destiny. Michael encamp around me. God, adjudicate on my behalf. Holy Spirit, instruct me now. These declarations are not empty words. They are permissions. They authorize movement in the heavenly courts. When spoken with yielded faith, they awaken angelic assignments. Michael does not war randomly. He wars when they yield and say yes to stillness, yes to silence, yes to sacred alignment. So protect your gates. Guard your gaze. Steward your hours. The enemy wants to draw you out. Heaven is trying to draw you in. Stay hidden. You are not hiding from something. You are being hidden for something. Type I am hidden for His glory in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 3003 is now activated over your household. You are not who the old room remembers anymore. You are not the version of yourself that they've mentally filed away. The version that tolerated chaos. The one that stayed silent out of fear. The one that gave too much access without discernment. That version of you had been dismissed by heaven. That version no longer exists in the eyes of the divine. You have been sifted, refined, and rearranged in the spirit. Archangel Michael has seen the fire you walked through and now stands beside you, not as just a defender, but as a witness of your graduation. You are not a victim anymore. You are not the misunderstood one grasping for validation. You are not the broken one asking to be picked. You are now the witness, the one who carries proof of survival, evidence of endurance, and the wisdom of battle-scarred faith. You are the warrior, not because you scream, but because you know when to stay quiet. Not because you lash out, but because you've learned the sharpest sword is restraint sharpened by revelation. Let it settle in your soul now. Your wounds have matured into wisdom. The fire did not destroy you, it refined you. The smoke that once suffocated you no longer announces your presence. You no longer walk in rooms as desperation. You walk in as discernment. You don't beg for access. You bless environments with your atmosphere. You carry solutions, not explanations. You have stepped into governance, and heaven has taken notice. Wings do not grow in the noise. They stretch in the quiet. While you were silent, you were rising. While you were misunderstood, heaven was measuring your elevation. Your altitude has changed, and with that, your appetite must also change. You no longer feed on being seen, you feed on being sent. You are not looking for attention. You are seeking alignment. Altitude solves arguments that words never will. Let them misread you. Let them assume. Elevation is rarely understood horizontally. You were not born to be explained. You were born to be reverenced, not recognized. Those who knew you in your cocoon will not always understand your wings. And that is okay. You are not theirs to interpret. You are heaven's to command. So say this softly under your breath, again and again, until your spirit believes it. I carry verdicts, not vendettas. You don't need revenge. You've been given rulership. You don't need to make noise. You've been granted divine endorsement. Your peace now intimidates places where your panic once gave permission. The silence you hold is not emptiness. It is evidence that you no longer need to explain your becoming. There is a power now rising from within you that is not born of pride, but of holy detachment. You are no longer tied to how they see you. You are now yoked to how heaven defines you. Power is not in your volume. Power is in your obedience. Power is in choosing fewer battles and building better altars. Power is knowing you don't need to win in public to reign in the spirit. Your hidden growth was not wasted. What they didn't applaud, heaven archived. Every surrendered day, every fasted moment, every whispered yes, it became architecture in your inner life. Now your habits, your prayers, your posture, your pace, it has built a fortress the enemy can no longer infiltrate. Let that sink in. You are now guarded not just by angels, but by the disciplined rhythm of your obedience. You rise now by revelation, not retaliation. You rise not because you fought louder, but because you sat longer. You were willing to be refined. You were willing to go unnoticed. You were willing to wait in the shadow of the Almighty, and now you will be sent in power. So walk gently. Let your feet speak where your mouth no longer needs to. Your footsteps register in the Spirit now. Every place you step, heaven is assigning territory. Do not underestimate how much the spirit realm is responding to your movement, even when people don't. You are no longer seeking permission. You are walking in prophecy. Type "I am empowered" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 5566 is now activated over your path and your posture. There is a pressure building beneath your feet, and it is not random. That weight you feel pressing down on your chest, the sudden tears without cause, the quiet hush in your atmosphere, It is not anxiety. It is activation. The tension you sense is not working against you. It is the contraction of destiny, the stretching of the spirit realm right before a supernatural unlocking. Something under you is shifting. A gate is preparing to open beneath your feet, and when it does, it will not be a slow release. It will be a sudden surge. This is not about coincidence. This is not about emotional waves. This is divine choreography at work. Heaven has set this moment apart. Archangel Michael's tears tonight are not tears of defeat. They are tears of intercession. He weeps because timing matters. He weeps because the window is real. And this window is narrowing. You cannot afford to miss this alignment. It is not just a chance. It is a portal. It is not simply a season. It is a divine seal. Prophetic insight is rising now. Clarity, revelation, unexplainable knowing. What was blurry is sharpening. Heaven is pulling back the veil, and what once confused you is now making holy sense. The delay was not a denial. It was a filter. It was heaven protecting you from rooms you thought you were ready for. The silence was not abandonment. It was God routing you away from premature platforms and predatory hands. And now, something is opening. Not just a door, but a dimension. Access. Audience. Assignment. These are aligning suddenly, not because you manipulated it, but because you finally surrendered to timing. You stopped striving. You stopped pushing. And now heaven has begun to move in ways you couldn't have forced if you tried. The ones who didn't return your calls. That was preservation. The rooms that never opened. That was heaven's no wrapped in mercy. You have been protected from toxic acceleration. And now, because you obeyed the stillness, the real door is ready. Michael's weeping is a signal that the scroll has been read, the page has turned, and the assignment has been activated. But make no mistake, this next level requires a cleaner, quieter, and more holy interior climate. You cannot carry this new mantle while nursing old bitterness. You cannot walk through this next threshold carrying the clutter of old opinions. What is required now is a soul that is light, aligned, and clean before God. Watch for it now. Names you haven't even met are speaking yours in rooms you didn't even know existed. Divine mentions. Heavenly endorsements. God is seeding help into your next chapter. Unexpected eyes. Timely cancellations. Exact resources. You don't need the crowd. You need the cloud. And the cloud is moving. Your job in this hour is not to force anything. It is to remain tuned. To walk by nudge and not by need. To step when the Spirit says step, not when fear saith run. The blessing is in the obedience. The power is in the yieldedness. The overflow is in the restraint. What is coming is not viral. It is sustainable. It is sacred. It is supernatural stewardship. So hear the prophecy echoing from heaven. You will be asked for what only you carry. You will be called upon not for your name, but for your oil. Your name has been engraved. Your file is active. Your obedience has activated a string of events in the spirit realm that cannot be stopped, only stewarded. Expect signatures. Expect shifts. Expect sudden peace where there was pressure. Expect divine interference to cancel what men tried to orchestrate. Expect phone calls to be missed on purpose. Expect new alignments that require less explaining and more anointing. Your yes has triggered movement. The oil is flowing. The seal is open. Type "I receive the prophecy" in the comments if this word touched your spirit. Blessing code 1818 is now flowing through your timeline. If this word struck your spirit, and you know this was a window opened for your life, then hear me clearly. You are not just a receiver of this revelation, you are a carrier of it. And carriers invest. Givers secure the ground they walk on. Every act of generosity is a spiritual agreement. When you give through Super Thanks, YouTube membership, or directly through PayPal, link is in the video description, you're not donating, you're declaring. Let this word multiply. Let it go further. Let it reach others like me. The Spirit is saying, "Blessed are the sowers of revelation, for they will reap preservation." Don't just witness this moment. Own it with action. Let heaven see that what moved you mattered enough to sow into it. I declare, as you give, may mystery turn into clarity, may waiting turn into welcome, may timing turn into triumph. Give now, not from pressure, but from prophetic agreement. The oil is flowing. Step into it. Now comes the pivot. Now comes the part where heaven leans in and listens for your answer. Not your words, not your songs, but your decision. Your destiny is not a mystery waiting to be found. It is a command waiting to be obeyed. The scroll is already written. The oil is already flowing. The mantle has already been measured to fit your frame. What remains is your alignment. And alignment does not start with movement. It starts with a mouth that speaks heaven's rhythm and a will that yields without delay. Declare it now. Don't wait to feel it. Speak it until your atmosphere surrenders to it. I choose alignment over applause. I choose assignment over affirmation. I choose obedience over opportunity. This is the anthem of those who carry weight in the Spirit. This is the cry of those whom Michael Lestrates, not because they are loud, but because they are exact. Heaven is not looking for your perfection. Heaven is waiting for your scheduling. You must now begin to live according to heaven's calendar, not man's clock. Begin drafting vision, not for people to see, but for God to endorse. Begin pruning your schedule, not out of fear, but out of focus. There are meetings that must be canceled, not because they are wrong, but because they are not now. Destiny demands you sanctify your mornings, restructure your days, and clear your nights. Heaven will not force you into the next chapter. It invites you through conviction, not coercion. This is the moment where reaction must die and rehearsed peace must rise. You are not in a waiting room. You are in a war room. Every passive response has become a liability. Every emotional impulse must now be replaced with prophetic rhythm. You no longer respond to drama. You respond to direction. You no longer serve distraction. You now serve destiny. God is not just asking you to be available. He is asking you to be intentional. Schedules speak. Habits speak. And heaven is watching for the ones who will align by action, those who sow without being asked, those who study when no one is watching, those who structure their lives as if the promise was already delivered. Heaven honors those who move prophetically even before the door opens. Say yes, not just with your lips, but with your calendar. Let your morning routines declare your commitment. Let your phone reflect your pruning. Let your conversations reveal your covenant. You cannot continue building as if nothing has shifted. The window is not only open, it is closing to the unaligned. Destiny does not begin when a stage appears. It begins when your schedule, and your souls say the same thing. The people you surround yourself with in this hour must be covenant carriers, not chaos creators. You must learn to cancel what doesn't carry the same sound. Even if it's not toxic, if it's not timely, it's a threat to your next. Now is the hour to send a message of honor where heaven prompts you. Restore what needs restoring. Forgive what must be released. Cancel what clutters. If the Spirit stirs you to send a voice note, a text, a blessing, do it. These are not emotional urges. These are heaven's positioning systems. Your simple obedience creates shockwaves in the realm you cannot see. It is also time to build altars at your thresholds. Not literal altars. Prophetic ones. The desk you work at, the door frame you walk through, the phone in your hand. These are gates. And heaven is asking you to anoint them spiritually. Invite the Spirit to determine what enters, what exits, and what remains. God is calling you to be a steward of space, not just a user of time. Walk your city once this week, not as a wanderer, but as a witness. Don't post it. Don't announce it. Just walk and observe atmospheres. Speak peace into sidewalks. Bless what heaven points out. You are not just a vessel, you are a carrier of verdicts. Where you step, Michael watches. Where you pause, the Spirit whispers. Record every testimony now. Every small confirmation. Every divine coincidence. Because what you steward in secret, heaven multiplies in silence. And soon, what was quiet will become undeniable. What was hidden will become history-making. What was private obedience will become public favor. Type "I align with destiny" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 8888 is now securing your steps and strategies. While your body rests and your eyes close, the unseen realm does not sleep. While you toss in thought or lay still in trust, the machinery of heaven is moving with deliberate, unbroken rhythm. You are not forgotten in the silence. You are not abandoned in the unseen. In fact, some of the most critical transitions of your life are happening right now in silence, not in rooms with applause, not in circles with recognition, but in the holy stillness of the spirit realm. As you sleep, heaven audits what has been mishandled. Every word spoken against you, every opportunity that was sabotaged, every timeline that was stretched by someone else's insecurity, God is measuring it all. He is counting what was taken. He is weighing what was unjust. He is watching what was withheld from you, not because you lacked readiness, but because they lacked honor. And now, restitution has begun in the invisible courtrooms of the Most High. Archangel Michael is not fighting with noise. He is moving paperwork. This is administrative warfare. Assignments are being restamped. Permissions are being reinstated. Scrolls are being reauthorized. Where man denied you, heaven is now approving you, quietly, sovereignly, without needing their validation. This is the silent exchange, the divine reversal and redistribution that happens when you choose trust over retaliation. When you stop chasing their explanations, God started building your compensation. When you held your peace instead of broadcasting your pain, heaven began recording your restraint as evidence. Your tears became timestamps. Your stillness became testimonies. Your boundaries became borders that heaven respected. Heaven is now negotiating on your behalf. Stolen time is not just being returned, it is being translated. The years the locusts consumed are not coming back in their original form. They are coming back converted into revelation, into favor, into supernatural velocity. The missed doors will not reopen, but better ones will appear, positioned by divine GPS and aligned to your current capacity. Some of the most valuable exchanges are not made in your prayers, but in your posture. When you said, "Not my will, but yours," heaven wrote it down as legal consent. When you deleted that message instead of defending yourself, angels took note and began writing judgment. When you stopped begging for answers and just worshipped anyway, God translated your worship into warfare. The realm of the Spirit is not governed by noise, it's governed by agreement. And because you agreed with heaven even when earth was quiet, because you yielded even when no one was watching, a holy chain reaction has begun. Restoration has been approved. Authority has been increased. And clarity is coming, not through explanation, but through reversal and release. You felt restlessness this past week, not because you were anxious, but because your spirit moved ahead of your understanding. Your soul is just now catching up to what heaven already initiated. What you called a delay was actually a divine escort, a detour guarded by angels so the enemy couldn't trace your route. You thought you were stuck, but you were actually being led through a hidden corridor, a secret passage known only to those who trust without needing the full map. And now, because you trusted the hush, because you obeyed the lack of clarity, God is releasing quiet breakthroughs, sudden relief, unexpected peace, decisions made in your favor without your name being brought up, keys handed to you without interviews, doors opening without knocking. This is not hype. This is harvest from hidden surrender. The silent exchange also includes spiritual immunity. What once affected you now breaks before it can reach you. What once drained you now bounces off. The darts that once pierced your mind now fall at your feet. Your boundaries have become blessed borders. Your sleep is now currency in the spirit. Every hour of rest becomes a spiritual negotiation table where heaven deals on your behalf. Nothing had been lost, only reposition. Everything that belonged to your calling but was mishandled, misused, or misjudged is now returning with compound interest and divine covering. Not because you fought for it, but because you laid it down and chose the better portion. Say this in the quiet of your heart: heaven moves while I rest. Michael stands while I sleep. God speaks in silence. I trust the exchange. Type "I trust the exchange" in the comments if this message is yours. Blessing code 4141 is resting over your rest and rising over your restoration. The hour has come for heaven to respond. Not with noise, not with warning, but with verdicts. For too long, your name had been circulated in conversations you were never invited into. For too long, your intentions were misread, your movements misunderstood, your silence misinterpreted. But now the judge has stood. The gavel has dropped. And what they thought they buried has become the seed of your rise. This is no longer a season of testing. This is now a season of spiritual justice. What was engineered against you is now returning to its sender. What was meant to break you will now break them, not because you asked for revenge, but because heaven has laws. And one of those laws is this: touch not my anointed, and do my prophets no harm. Michael, the chief enforcer of divine defense, is no longer weeping. He is now marching. And when Michael marches, systems collapse. Lies unravel. Plots blow. Those who mishandled your name are about to encounter the weight of the name that was spoken over you before you were even born. You have remained still, and now God will speak. You have refused to clap back, and now angels will respond. You've kept your hands clean, and now God will write footnotes on the parts of the story they thought they authored. Scales in the spirit are being balanced. Slowly at first, and then suddenly. The reversals will not come with announcements. They will show up as inevitable redirection. Relationships will end themselves. Timelines will expose liars. Opportunities they tried to block will now bypass them and find you. Slander will collapse under its own contradictions. The stories they told about you will begin to unravel because the truth will betray the lie. God is a redeemer, but he is also a righteous judge. He does not overlook mockery. He does not forget the groanings of the righteous. Your tears were liquid evidence in his courtroom. And now, heaven's verdict is in. Justice is moving. And it's not just for you. It's for the anointing you carry. It's for the future you protect. It's for the mantle that was targeted. Your name may have been mishandled in earth's echo chamber, but it has been exalted in heaven's archives. Restoration is here. And it's not just reputational. It's territorial. Resources are being returned. Routes that were blocked are reopening. Doors that were sealed are now being unlocked in your absence. God is not just vindicating you. He is strategically routing favor back to your hands, through vessels you never expected, from voices you didn't even ask to advocate for you. Opportunities are on their way to you, not because of politics, but because of prophecy. You stayed low when they went loud. You stayed clean when they went crooked. And now, divine reversal is your reward. The very people who questioned your silence will soon witness the strength it carried. Your meekness is becoming magnetism. Your restraint is being translated into rank. Your pain is now a pulpit, and your dignity has become your defense. This is the moment where you are commanded to do one thing: stand still and see. You will not have to correct them. You will not have to explain what really happened. You will not have to chase the rumors or put out fires. The same spirit that led Jesus to stay silent before Pilate is the same spirit that empowered him to walk out of the grave. Your silence has not been weakness. It has been weaponized. Do not try to explain the reversal. Just walk in it. Let the fruit be louder than the former noise. Let the favor be the footnote to the attacks. You are stepping into a season where God will not just restore what was lost. He will multiply it in front of the ones who said it was over. Michael no longer weeps. He now marches. A shift is active. The store has matured into a testimony, and the warfare has finally translated into witness. You are not just protected, you are now platformed by the very hand that kept you hidden. Type "I receive divine justice" in the comments if this message is yours. Blessing code 1616 is now reversing verdicts and rewriting endings over your life. Tonight is not just sacred, it is sovereign. It is not just meaningful, it is non-negotiable. This hour was not created by man's calendar but ordained by the Ancient of Days. A divine circle has been drawn around your name, and heaven has whispered a command to your spirit: rise and move. Obey and live. Yield and be preserved. There is mercy in the warning, but there is fire in the timing. This moment is not open-ended. This window is not wide. It is narrow, holy, and closing with precision. You are seen. You are sealed. You are supernaturally safeguarded. Heaven is no longer waiting for your perfection. It is moving in response to your posture. The weight of Archangel Michael's tears has become the signal of both mourning and movement. A mourning over what could have been if you ignored this moment. The movement into what must now be activated because you chose obedience over delay. The gates of grace are before you, but they will not remain ajar forever. God has sent this word not to terrify you, but to summon you. You are being summoned into stillness, into alignment, into holy pace. You are being summoned out of the counterfeit urgency and into divine strategy. The voice calling you forward is not angry, it is jealous for your purpose. This is the echo of a father who will not let delay devour your destiny. Receive now the blessing declared over your life, peace upon your gates, light upon your path, oil upon your hands, clarity in your heart, fire in your bones, favor on your name. No trap prospers, no tongue prevails, no shadow overshadows the glory set upon you. Your name is cleared in heaven. Your record is sealed in righteousness. Your future is not fragile, it is fortified. Whisper this prayer into the atmosphere. Order my steps. Fortify my silence. Confirm my assignment. I yield. I obey. I align. Speak this declaration with holy fire. I walk softly. I carry verdicts. I release no vengeance. I am hedged. I am held. I am hidden. I am helped continually. Michael stands. God rules. The Spirit speaks. And now, your spirit agrees and rises. The line is drawn. The hour is activated. The final warning has become your first release. Walk through the gate with reverence, with focus, and with no turning back. Type I am sealed in the comments if this message finds you. Blessing code 0000 is now coding the old and releasing the new. If this word sealed something inside of you, if you felt heaven whisper through every sentence, then you are part of this prophetic mission. What we carry is not content. It's divine commissioning. Every voice lifted, every scroll released, every call obeyed costs something. When you give, through super thanks, membership, or through our PayPal link in the video description, you are not tipping a channel. You are sowing into sacred ground. You are helping awaken the called, the weary, the forgotten. You are partnering with heaven to shake the slumbering. God says in Luke 6:38, "Give, and it shall be given to you." This is not manipulation. It is spiritual transaction. Heaven sees every seed. Heaven rewards every act. This is your moment to plant into the anointing that just poured into you. Do not miss this window. Let your giving speak. Let your obedience echo. Let your support multiply souls. I bless every supporter with overflow, protection, and sudden divine interruption. Give now, as the heavens remain open. The ground is ready. The harvest is holy.